Search Rainier Avenue Radio, and remember, do not curse out your fellow drivers. This has been your Rainier Avenue Radio traffic update.
Hey, this is Tony Benton of Rainier Avenue Radio. Rainier Avenue Radio is a people-oriented media outlet dedicated to amplifying the diverse voices of our community. We're asking you to make a difference and invest in our independent organization so that we can continue to reach our community through the programs that you love. We need your help. We're kicking off our summer campaign to support Rainier Avenue Radio. From now until August 1st, we're asking you to make a gift in support of our work. Your collective contribution support programs like Call to Conscience Museum, Make Music Day, our summer youth classes, and our generational wealth campaign. Go to RainierAvenueRadio.world and click Donate to make a gift. Thank you for partnering with us to amplify diverse voices in our community.
Women Empowerment Talk Radio, your roadmap to business success. Tune in every Sunday at 3 p.m. on RainierAvenueRadio.world, providing resources and sharing motivational experiences from the everyday entrepreneur. Tune in, Women Empowerment Talk Radio, every Sunday, 3 p.m. on RainierAvenueRadio.world.
What's going on, world? It's your boy OG Mambo.
And your guy D Money. Join us along with Pint Size Patron and ID Yourself
Here on Fresh Juice at Rainier Avenue Radio.
every Wednesday hump day from 9 to 11 Pacific.
Get exclusive interviews from your favorite artists, all the hottest music, and updates on what we got going on in the world.
That's every Wednesday, 9 to 11 p.m. on Seattle's Rainier Avenue Radio.
Summer's here, but back to school time is just around the corner. Now is a great time to get ahead of the lines and get your kids their latest COVID booster, plus all vaccines required for school. Free vaccination clinics in King County offer COVID-19 vaccines, boosters, and all vaccines required for school. Get more information at kingcounty.gov/findaclinic.
Rainier Avenue Radio.world is your 24/7 digital media hub. Tune in at Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and TuneIn apps.
Hello.
Hi, I love our music, Tina.
I know.
I just love it.
How are you doing, Miss V?
I'm good. Look where I
great.
want to be. Behind me. See
Oh,
that?
I thought you were there. You bought a house right there.
No, not yet. I'd like to.
Okay. My goodness.
How's
Gosh.
it?
Well, we're
How are you doing in Denver?
Oh, it's going good. Finally we've stopped all the tornadoes and hurricanes. So we're now enjoying 85, 90-degree weather with no rain. So it's a good thing. It's a very good thing.
Awesome.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes. So what are we talking about today, V?
Well, we are going to talk about what investors do.
Yes.
In particular, flipping. And you were at a big convention this past weekend, and we're inviting our old friend, not old, she's young, Elsie Chaudoin, to come join us today, and we'll talk to her after the break.
Yes. So we're going to be talking to Elsie, and we're going to be talking about flipping homes. We're going to talk about what to flip a home is all about, the definition of flipping a home. But in case you're not quite sure what it is, it's basically when you buy a house and then you fix it up, then you flip it, you turn around and sell it. So this is, of course, more for the more advanced buyer or somebody who's been trying to invest in real estate, but we're going to talk about it. So if you have a friend or family member who may be interested, have them tune to the show right now because they're going to want some of this information.
Okay.
Yes. So what are we going to start off with, V? What's the current
inventory?
Yes.
Inventory in this crazy market. Here we go. Starting with King County, folks. Active listings in the past week, 490 in King County. Pending 297 and sold 365 homes sold at an average price of $1,186,000. Last year at the same time, Things were selling at around $1,119,000. That's a 6% increase from year to year. Days on the market for June, we are looking at last year 11 days, and it's now up to 25 days in King County. Percent of the list price, buyers were paying 7% higher than normal. And the average price this year listing at 100%. So sellers are getting what they're asking for, basically. Showings per listing, 17 showings last year. Now it's only taking 9 showings to get for your listings. And that's because there's a lack of inventory, everyone. The backlog of buyers that are always around, they're always waiting for new inventory to come up. And if it does, you'll find some multiple offers happening, but the reason why the showings per listing is down is because they're going under contract so quickly these days if you do find them. So then we move on to Pierce County. 209 homes are active on the market in Pierce County right now. 109 are pending, and 187 have been sold at an average price of $630,000. Last year it was about $600,000, and that's an increase of 5% from year to year. Days on the market in June in Pierce County, 13 days versus now it's 31 days. And then percent of the list price, I'm trying to look at all these, 3.5% higher. And this year, again, 100%. So 3.5% for last year, 100% this year. Showings per listing, 10 showings per listing last year, 6 this year. And showings to get to pending, 15 showings last year. And this June, we were at 14. Now in Snohomish County, our third market that we focus on here at Real Estate and Money, 177 active homes, 129 pending. And from last week, 163 sold an average price of $865,000. Last year was $808,000, and that is up 7%. For June to June, we're looking at days on the market 11 last year, and this June we're at 28%. Of the list price was 6% above asking, and this year again in this county 100%. So again, sellers are getting what they're asking for. Showings per listing, 14 showings last June. This June 7, and showings to pending 20 last June, 16 this June. So days on the market, we're looking at 1 to a week and a half days for your listing sellers, to get on the pending or sold list. And again, the lack of inventory is forcing quick sales happening. So instead of 14 showings, it takes only an average of 7 showings for your listing to get to the point where we're looking at the pending status. So it's really crazy out there. And again, backlog of buyers. This is the end of the summer market. We're getting to the end of the summer market. So people are still trying to hurry up and get a home before the kids are back to school. They're looking for the right neighborhoods. And when those come up, I have one coming up, I believe it's going to go fast because those backlog of buyers are sitting around waiting just for that home, and it's going to go quickly if they find it. So there you have it.
You have it. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So let's talk a little bit about what is going on in the mortgage market. So
Yes.
last week was pretty exciting. It was a week after 4th of July, and rates actually went up to like one of the highest levels for, about a week there. Then they came tumbling back down on Thursday. So because of that, a lot of people got scared that they missed the boat when the rates were in the upper 6s or low 7s. And so when the rates did dip back down a few days ago. This last weekend has been crazy. People have been out there trying as fast as possible to buy these houses, hoping that they didn't miss the boat. So if you look here, a 30-year fixed mortgage nationally is at an average rate of 6.811 and APR of 6.886. Now that's come down quite a bit since the last couple of weeks. I have been showing you these graphs. A 15-year rate is at 5.746. A 5/1 ARM is at 6.707. And FHA is down at 5.167. And VA is at 6%. Okay, let's make some analysis of what's going on here. And so if you will move that down just a little bit to show that graph, Daniel, that'd be great. You see here, July 8th. If you look past that, just a little bit in the past, just a couple of weeks, you see the rates had went up. The rates were like 7.7, so on and so forth, and now they've came back down just a little bit as per that trend. So we're telling people, if you can buy a house now, buy the house. The adjustable rate there, the adjustable rate is the 15-year mortgage. I'm sorry, the adjustable 5-year. Oh goodness, I got this wrong. The 30 years in the blue, and that's 7.028. The 5/1 ARM is in the red, and that's 7.736. So basically, they're trying to discourage people from getting an ARM or an adjustable rate mortgage. The 30 years at 7%. There's just not a market in 5/1 ARM. So if you're going to buy a house, don't ask your loan officer, hey, can I get a 5/1 ARM? Because it's going to be priced out of the market. Right now, they're hoping that the rates go back down. So you just want to get a 30-year fixed or what have you. For qualifying purposes, if you go with a 5/1 ARM, it's not going to do any good because the 5/1 ARM is actually a lot more expensive than the 30-year fixed. Okay, so let me see. You can go ahead and get rid of that screen, Daniel. Let me talk a little bit about what the mortgage rates are doing. The mortgage rates were high because the government was trying to discourage the prices of houses going up to where home ownership is just unattainable. So when the rates went back down, you saw some houses get more activity on the market, and people are all of a sudden jumping on these houses again. So what happens is when the rates go down, the prices of houses start going higher because there's accelerated or there's people making offers and driving the price of that home up. So I have been telling clients ways to navigate around this market. If you see a house that you like, and let's say the house is going for $700,000, don't go in at asking price right now. Don't go in higher. Go in at 705, 710, 715. Because if you go in at asking price, there's probably 10 other people there offering the same price. I'm telling people, if I qualify you for, let's say, $800,000, and you're going to have to accelerate and amp up that price, then look at a home at $750,000 and offer 770 or 780. You want to be the big dog on the block when it comes to making an offer on a house. So I'm telling clients now, if they think the interest rates are higher, they're going to go higher. Or they're going to go down, buy that house now. Because if you buy a house right now at $700,000 and the interest rate is at 7%, when the interest rates go down to 6.5%, that $700,000 home is going to be worth $725 or $750 because so many people are going to be making an offer on that house. It's going to drive the prices up. So what happens is you're driven out of the market. So it's the same payment now at a higher rate, at a lower price than it will be when the interest rates go down and the competitors drive the price of that home up. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yep, that's what we're seeing.
Get that house now. Yeah. What I'm saying, if you see a house right now that you like, go ahead and make an offer on it. I don't care if the rate is at 7% or 8% or whatever the heck it is. When interest rates go back down to 6, 5, or 4, and you feel comfortable, just refinance. But now you have the house. Because I guarantee you, a house at $700,000 when the market is at 7% is going to be priced a lot higher when the interest rates are at 5.5%. That $700,000 house is going to go for $850,000. So you really are just trying to play games with the market. It's a losing game. Year after year after year, Violeta, the value and the prices of real estate goes up, 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 up. So if you're waiting for interest rates to go down, you're basically you're shooting yourself in the foot. When I bought my house 30 years ago at a rate of, I think, 9.25 or 8.75 or something ridiculous, the house was only $89,000. What if I said, oh, I don't want to get an 8.9 rate, and I waited for 20 years? Then that house, I think, went up to $650,000 when I last looked. So I would have lost. If you have a house that you like and you can afford it, buy at the top of your pay range, because that house is going to go up higher later on down the line that you did, and you're going to be hopefully making more money. Okay, so go ahead and do that. So that is my sense on the market.
Okay, and you can refinance 1,000,000 times, right?
Yeah.
However many times you want.
Yeah. And I'm telling people now, of course you can refinance. Get that house because, if you can do a 7.5 right now, the rates go down to 6.5 or 5%. Of course, you're going to get that rate. You're going to get a lower rate. So just buy it. Mm-hmm.
Hey, I want to feature a home that's up for sale right now that I'm listing. And Daniel, I believe you have the flyer for this home. There you go. Can you scroll up? Here's the front of this home. Here's for investors, for first-time home buyers, for something maybe no, this particular one you can't rent, but it's a mobile home. But look at how nice it is inside. Daniel, can you scroll up and show? Well, there's a community area, and look at the kitchen with a bar area. Maybe scroll down a little bit. That's a bathroom that you see there. And can you scroll down just a bit? Okay, yeah. See, look at on the bottom right. That's the kitchen. Newly remodeled last year, all new stainless steel appliances with a flat black refrigerator, and it's a pretty cool place. 3-bedroom, 1 bath. Call me and we can talk about this option to purchase something different that's available in many areas, but this one happens to be my listing. So call me if you'd like to talk more or see more on this house.
Yes. And V, just like I was telling people before, you got to start somewhere. And if you can afford a house like this, either for a first-time home buyer or you're moving or you're downsizing, buy it because the value is going to go up.
Yes.
The value is going to go up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So talking about values going up, is it time to bring Elsie in?
Yes.
Yes. So we're going to bring
friend Elsie.
Yes.
Where is she? She there? Hi. Hi, Elsie.
Hi, Elsie. Here we are.
Oh, you're muted.
There I am. Hi.
Hi.
Yes, it's good to see you, my dear.
Yes, it has been a while. It has been a while.
So Tina was at a big convention of investors this past weekend. Yes. And this is something that you're doing. It's up your alley. So you guys talk about what it is that investors are doing right now as hot as the market is.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead, Tina.
Well, first of all, tell us what flipping is. I'm just going to go ahead and read the description of it and then let you elaborate. But flipping refers to purchasing an asset for a short-term holding period with the intent of selling it rather quickly for a profit after a little while has passed. So basically buying a home at a certain price and then fixing it up and waiting a little bit and then selling it for a higher price and gaining the profits. So Elsie is the champ of that, and she's been doing real estate for eons. I met her years ago, maybe 10 or more years ago, but she is our expert on flipping properties. We're going to ask her a bunch of questions and see what she can teach us.
Sure, absolutely. Well, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Elsie Chaudoin, and currently Scott and I had purchased a franchise, and it is the HomeVestors franchise a little over 3 months ago or so. And we currently have 3 under contract. We've actually just closed on one. I want to say 2 weeks ago. We closed on another one this Friday, and then we have another one that's closing in August. So it's actually served us really well. On top of that, I'm also a real estate broker and have been for the last 19 years. I'm also licensed here in Washington and in Alabama. So,
wow. So Elsie, tell us really quick, how did you get into house flipping and what is it for the person who just doesn't know that's interested in doing what you're doing?
Yeah, so I started back in, I want to say 2011 or so, when we were going through the Great Recession. And people were just leaving their homes. They would abandon their homes and we would pick them up at the trustees auction. And you could probably find, I want to say in King County, probably about 400 homes or more per week at the trustees.
Right now?
Wow.
Nope, not now.
Oh, back then. Okay.
Yes, back then, back in like 2011, 2012. So
right.
So I had brought an investor there, and she purchased a home, and we ended up going through the process where she fixed it and flipped it, and then I ended up putting it back on the market so that she could get that profit. Now, another one of my investors, they had purchased a home at the auction, and I literally remember running to the auction steps, and we purchased it for $1 over what their asking price was. And so from that point on, after I had done 2 with them, I said, "Heck, man, I'm jumping in this." And I've either been an investor, a real estate investor, or I've also helped a lot of real estate investors find property.
Wow. So if I was just a person and I have some money laying around and I have a desire, what is the quickest way to do this? Do you need to get your real estate license, or can they just call somebody like yourself?
They can call me. However, you do not need a real estate license. And that's one of the great parts about purchasing a franchise. HomeVestors is America's largest home purchasing company out there. So, but no, you do not need your license. What you do need is somebody that is an expert in it. And I would say, use them as a mentor in purchasing homes before you even jump in. So a good mentor would be very helpful.
Okay. So where do you find your houses and that sort of thing? I mean, is it like you said, you looked at the auction, and is that something that everybody has access to, or just realtors?
No, absolutely everybody. It's usually held at the courthouse. Now, being COVID, I'm not really sure if that even happens anymore. I haven't been following it for a bit. However, though, Facebook, social media has been a really big part in purchasing off-market properties. But for myself, we've, like I said, purchased HomeVestors about 3 months ago, and that gives us access to sellers that are motivated to sell their homes, and they would give us a call, and if they're looking for quick cash, we can close in 3 weeks. They don't have to pay a commission to real estate brokers, nor the closing costs. We cover that.
Wow, that's awesome. So if somebody were to do this, can they do it as an LLC, as just a person, or how does that work?
So if you're just jumping in, I would say an LLC would be a great way to start, especially if you find that that's something that you really enjoy doing, because of tax purposes. So I would say, put it under a business, keep it away from your personal name as well. And then also when you're purchasing the property, you want to purchase it under an LLC to keep it separate.
Very good. Okay. So, when I'm looking at a house, I could buy a house in Seattle, or let's say I can buy a house in Enumclaw or Chehalis. I mean, is there any particular thing that you're looking for? Or are you just looking for the value of the house versus what you can obtain it for? How do you figure out your return of investment on something like this?
Yeah. So it just really depends on, what you're purchasing it for. So if you're purchasing it to hold, that's a different ratio than if you're purchasing it to buy and flip. So, I would say, in my experience, if I'm looking at a buy and hold, my ratio would be 1%. So by that, I mean, if I'm purchasing the property for $65, I'm going to look for at least a rental rate of $650 or more. So that would be that 1% rate. Now, if I'm purchasing it to flip it, then I'm looking for a 10% return on my net profit. So after all my expenses are paid out, I'm looking for that 10% minimum net profit.
Okay. So is there a certain rule of thumb that you look for? Do you look for something in the inner city like Seattle, or do you look at something like Spokane or outside of Oregon? I mean, how do you find houses?
It doesn't matter on location. It really matters on the numbers. So if the numbers match, if they pencil out, if, like I said, I stick with that ratio, that's how I'm going to find my deal. So it doesn't matter location wise. And you'll be surprised. We get calls from Granite Falls, from Olympia, and there's, money to be made there. So don't underestimate the location.
Okay. So I have a lending question for you.
Sure.
So some people, they come to me for hard money, and I don't necessarily do hard money. And hard money means, we're going to give you, $800,000, but you're going to give it to us back in like 30 days or 60 days, and we're going to charge you a certain amount of money. That's hard money. And they really don't care about credit and so on and so forth. More has to do with the value of the house and how much you can get in return if you can pay back the loan. And then there's people like myself, and I'll do like cash flow investment properties where people are going to hold for just maybe 2 or 3 years. But in your situation, do you need any type of financing secured?
No. So In regards to the hard money, those are non-recourse loans, right? So they don't necessarily look at you as the investor, so they don't personally like put you liable for that debt. They're actually looking at the home, the asset as collateral. So if you don't pay, they take that home back. Now, as far as financing goes, so let's say, I go to a hard money lender and I say, here's my property. My after repair value is a certain amount. They'll lend me 80% of the after repair value. So now I have to find my 20%, right? So my 20% then would be my down payment, my collateral, what you could say. However, I don't necessarily have to be the only one. I could partner up with somebody else to bring my 20%.
Okay, great. So that's good for people to know, because a lot of people may see a house and they think, yeah, I can fix this up and flip it, but they're scared they don't have any money. So can you tell people if that's just a myth, they don't have any money, or they should just keep on it and try to pursue it?
So, you don't necessarily need money. In fact, you need zero money. However, there's a lot of sweat equity that goes into it and a network of investors. So if you've got sweat equity and investors, then you can make it work. I would not suggest doing it. If you're a first-time investor, I wouldn't suggest doing it that way. I would say mentor, follow somebody that can mentor you through that. Okay. But yeah, you can absolutely, do it that way. So the way that I do it is I go get a hard money lender or a hard money loan for 80%. And then I get a JV, a junior venture partner, or a gap lender to come up with my 20%. Mm-hmm. And then my equity that I would put in would be my sweat equity. And I would be the project manager, making sure that I'm scheduling and making sure that those renovations are going on schedule and on time. The one thing that I cannot express is getting the right contractor to help you. So contractors, it's like, another job of babysitting. So you have to make sure when you hire a contractor that you're visiting the house, I want to say maybe every day, if not every other day, to make sure that they are doing their work. Because if they don't do their work and you don't go visit, the money, is accumulating. So, you're paying a lot more money than necessary. So be on top of that.
Yeah, that's true. Because in other words, if somebody is contracted to do something, make sure that their invoice is correct, their estimate is close. And I know as a rule of thumb, when we do houses for renovation, we say, hey, take whatever invoice and go 30% above that, just in case. Yeah. But you're finding too that the more you do look at people, the faster the work gets done and the more it's closer to the estimate.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So great. So what kind of, yeah.
So Tina, you were at a big convention this weekend. Did you have something to share with us on that? What did you find out?
Yes, I went to WealthCom in Las Vegas, and it's ran by Ryan Panetta, a young Filipino. He made something like $48 million since 2017 by flipping properties. Absolutely insane and inspirational and motivational conference. I was blown away. The tickets were like $1,000 for general admission and $5,000 for VIP. And we got discounts and got in. I don't know how we did it, but we got in there. But it was really encouraging because he was saying how there are so many houses out there, and you are doing a favor when you're taking somebody's house off their hands. When you're flipping it and you're doing stuff to it to make it more valuable. So he talked about you don't need a license. He talked about you can use other people's money to co-invest with you to get it off the ground and running. So my only question that I left from the place was, did you really need a license? Does it benefit you to have a real estate license to save on, commission when you buy or sell a property?
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, that definitely would help. Okay. So I'm obviously a real estate broker, and I would, fix and flip and then resell as the agent. It definitely does help. However, it's not necessary.
Oh, good. I'm glad you said that. Yeah. So I met a lady there, Jennifer and Robert Sebastian. I'm going to say shout out to them, but they own like 3,700 doors or something like that. And they started flipping a while ago. And he's not an agent, but they were talking about how they buy apartment buildings and they flip, so on and so forth. So I think this is something that we really need to talk about, because in Washington State, it's a blessed area where the values just keep going up and up and up and up. So, while we're there, take advantage of it. So ladies and gentlemen, if you need any information or advice, talk to Elsie. She's been part of this show for 3 years since its inception. She's been doing this forever. But, hey, maybe you don't want to buy another house because your house right now is at 2.5%. You know what to do with all your extra money. Well, go buy another house. Maybe flip something. Talk to Elsie. Talk to Violeta. See if we can help you.
Yeah, and you see Elsie's number there with HomeVestors. Sorry, and then just call any one of us for any help with your real estate needs.
Yes,
and that is time.
Yes,
time.
Cool. Thank you so much, Elsie.
Yes, thank you guys for having me back on.
This is great to have you.
Much fun.
Great energy.
Okay, thank you everyone for joining us today on Real Estate and Money. We'll see you next week, Tuesday at 2:30. Bye-bye.